What is up, guys? FallenRedZeo here, and today we're doing some He-Man and the Masters of the Universe figures here from Super 7. And so these are kind of old, kind of like remake figures of the original 80s figures, but there's obviously new and made by Super 7. And we did the Thundercats a couple weeks ago. Pretty much figures exactly like this, and they are based off these figures, but of course those Thundercats were made by Funko. And again, as I've mentioned, these are Super 7s, but they have a little bit more to do. Like, they have more movement, and they actually do, like, I'd say, like, moves and stuff, where the Thundercats we did a while ago were just like straight figures, and you know, they had arms and stuff that would move, but that was about it. So these are a little bit more interesting and everything. So first off, as you can see we do have, this is the first wave, and there are more waves, and we've got them ordered, so they'll be coming in the future once they're released and everything. But we've got He-Man and Skeletor, so of course you always have to have, you know, good guy and bad guy to fight each other, and the two main villains of He-Man and Skeletor there. And so we've got those two, and then of course to go along with it, we've got Shira and Hordak, which of course are two more figures set in the Masters of the Universe world, and then they, you know, fit together as Shira is her villain, is Hordak and stuff. So it all kinds of fits together. So we got these four characters here that we're going to take a look at. We're going to see what they do movement-wise, what kind of additional movements they have for like their power moves or whatever, and then what weapons and stuff they all come with, because they all come with weapons and everything. So let's go ahead and get into them. So first up here is He-Man, and these figures are kind of weird, I have to say. I feel these are more like an in-box collection type of figure because they're a little bit weird. Like, you probably can't see it, but I had to position his leg a little weird, so his foot is barely on the ground at all to be able to get him to stand up. But like, to get his feet flat, like to get him back, he just then like completely falls back. So getting him to stand up was not an easy thing to do. And these figures, like I said, are a little bit weird, but they are based off the 80s version. So, and I've never seen the 80s versions like in hand or anything, so I don't know exactly how they are, or this could be exactly what they're like and they've just recreated them, or they could have been different, but I'm not exactly sure. But we'll go ahead and take a look at it. So as you can see, it kind of fits in with the 80s. Like, I'm a fan of wrestling, like professional wrestling, so WWE and stuff, and so back in the 80s this looks exactly like a wrestler from the 80s with the super tan body, super ripped. Obviously, like steroids and stuff would help this body, but it just looks super crazy. But we'll look at the face here, and so you can see the classic He-Man looking face. So he's got, you know, this weird looking face. Of course it's plastic, so it's all super shiny, so it makes their faces look even weird. But he's got the blonde haircut there where it's got the bangs on the top, and then it's like a bob cut there along the back, so it looks kind of stupid, but that's just the way He-Man was designed and everything there. Then you can see he does have like his piece of chest armor here that's got this logo on it, which kind of fits in with He-Man a lot. Again, it's not like really supposed to be anything, but just a part of like the He-Man look and design of logos and stuff is what that is based off. You can see on his arm he has these like gauntlets on, just like these orange color gauntlets and stuff. Then he go down, he's got a belt, and these are supposed to be like gold and stuff. So then he's got a gold belt on there, and then like some furry pants and stuff, so they're like made of fur and stuff. And then go down, he's got brown boots on, and then at the top it also has the fur as well that goes along with his trunks there. And then beyond that he's got no more clothes on, so you can see his bare legs, his arms and back and everything, and you can see the connections there of the thing, which reminds me very much of the 80s. They're like old style toys, so I feel that's why these are complete recreations of the 80s. So you can see that it's stuff you can't take it off if you want to, and you can just like push these things out to undo them, and then like pull it out or tighten it up, which you can't really tighten anymore. But yeah, that just reminds me very like old school toys and stuff there. So there is the actual He-Man himself, and for movements, obviously he can twist his head. Arms can move completely around. He can twist at the waist, which we'll actually look at more. It's got hip joints here that can obviously twist around, and it can bend out a little bit, like his legs do bend in and out a little bit, but they're kind of limited, and then it does twist around as much as it can. And that's really all the movements. But the waist especially, it has these power things, which they all do, so it's just the thing you can push on the hand, and then so like with the sword in its hand, it'll be like, oh, it's action. So you can, you know, as a kid be like playing with it and stuff, and go like this and make them like sword fight and stuff with Skeletor and everything that we'll see. But for weapons and everything, of course, for He-Man, we've got the Sword of Power here, which of course is He-Man's, you know, main sword and everything. So it's just designed like that. It's just all gray in this, and you can then stick it into his hand if we can get it put in there like that. And then obviously if you then do the action, you know, it can like fight with it and everything. So you can just kind of play around with it and everything, and just, you know, do whatever you want to do. Again, having issues staying him up. He also comes with a shield, so you got the shield here, and you can see by the design, I assume this slides onto his wrist, and then his hand slides into there. So let's go ahead and try that out. So you can slide his fingers in and then push onto his wrist, maybe. There we go, like that. So there, now he's got the shield on as well. I think it looks a lot better once he has like the shield and the sword in his hands. I think it looks much better. But there you can see both of them, and then obviously you can twist it and have him fight with Skeletor. But then he also comes with this other piece of sword that I don't understand what this is for at all. So it's like a half sword. So you can see there's the one side of it, and then it's missing the back, and it's got the holes and stuff. I do see in this little picture that comes with it that I assume it's the half sword, so you can then take it and stick it into his back. So then it's like, you know, holstered or sheathed onto his back there, and then you can obviously just pull the sword out, but then you put the sword in instead, and then use that to fight. But you can just stick this in his back there, so it can actually fit into the back of his I guess whatever his armor and stuff there, but I'm not exactly sure, and I'll see it in just a second what it could possibly do, but not exactly sure. And I also want to show off from the packaging, we get these cool little cards, so Masters of the Universe with He-Man there in front of Castle Grayskull, and then it's got this from toy to tune and stuff, and so it's kind of showing, different changes and stuff of there's like the original He-Man toy with that sword, and you can see the sword in the background there maybe is the half sword because it's got the holes and everything in it, and then of course the shield in his hand and the axe, but it says they got rid of the axe for just the sword with the little stuff down there, so if you want to read that. So it's cool that they come with these cards and stuff for each of the characters, but that's going to be it for He-Man. Then next up we've got Skeletor, and again it's very similar to the He-Man, especially feet wise, where his feet are a little bit different. They're kind of positioned, so he's got to stand at a weird like stance position, and it gets kind of weird as we go on, but yeah, it's just not the best like figure design and stuff, and you just have to kind of deal with it. But let's take a look at him. So of course there we've got the classic Skeletor looking face, the yellowish white skull there, as you can see, of course, with the blacked out eyes, nose, and then you can see his teeth there and everything. It's just a skull head, and then it's got a like a cape or a hood here covering up, even though I don't know where it would be coming from, but he's just got the hood on over his head to help, cover up the skull and everything. Then he's got a piece of armor similar to what He-Man had, but it's all purple this time, and you can see skull design there into the X, so kind of like how He-Man had like the iron cross design, he's got the X made of bones there, and he's got some additional little like details coming off for the shoulder pads and everything, or shoulder designs there, which are supposed to be shoulder pads, but on here they're kind of in the front, but designs there. Then he's got his like a skirting type thing around him. He's got a belt on, pretty much exactly what He-Man's got, but it's all black, so it's got the same belt design, and then like the fur like trunks and stuff, but it's all painted all black, so you can't really see the difference. But then he's got this purple like loincloth covering type thing that goes over the front, and then he's got purple boots on there as well. And for clothes, that's pretty much it. Then again, he's just like He-Man, completely naked beyond that, and he's all blue, so he's got blue skin, so Skeletor's a little blue guy. And again, same sort of movements. Head can twist around, arms can move, twist all the way around, back and forth, twist at the waist, and of course the hips do move a little. His maybe a little bit stiff, but of course he can't really move that much though either. But they do have the joint there, like their legs could move out and stuff, but again it's stiff, and I don't want to risk almost breaking it or anything. But he does also have the same waist twist, so you can do the same action poses and everything. So of course for weapons we've got the Havoc staff, which is his main staff that he uses for shooting powers and stuff out of. So it looks like the goat or ram's head there, as you can see with the horns and stuff. So it's the head on top of a staff, and this time he's got a pink staff. Paint has some little paint job issues, and then like gluing on, it doesn't really look the best or anything, but obviously you can then stick this into his hand. Just have to press it into there, and then of course with the action poses he can fight with He-Man, and so, oh goodness, then it just goes flying off the screen. So you can obviously put those in, and he can fight along with He-Man and everything. He does also come with a sword exactly like He-Man's, but this time it is all purple, so again, if you want to use that to help him fight against He-Man, or you can just do his staff like he should, because at least from when I watched He-Man and stuff, he would always just have the staff, so he wouldn't use any other weapon, so we'll just put the Havoc staff back in his hand like that, so you have that. But then he also does come with a sword just like He-Man, but again it's the purple and it's the half sword, so again I assume it's so you can stick it down into his back like that and everything, just so he can have the sword, and then when you want to play and have him use the sword, you can put this sword in instead. But I did also notice the way they're designed is that these two could go together. So if you want to have a half purple, half gray sword, you can stick them together and have, you know, a double sword like that of different colors. I don't know if they're supposed to be like that, but I do notice they have the holes and stuff so they can stick together. But I assume by the pictures, we have another card here for Skeletor, as you can see there, which looks cool. But in the back of the classic figure, you do see the sword sticking in his back as well. So I assume, again, that's what it's supposed to be. What the half sword is for is just so you can have the sword stuck into his back to look like he's got the sword, but obviously the full sword wouldn't fit in there, so you can stick that in the back there as well. And so that's going to be it for Skeletor. And next up we've got Shira, and so this to me is the worst looking one out of this entire set, and especially the stance. So this leg here is all like being curved weird the way it's designed, and so to get it to stand up you have to like pretty much keep this foot because you can't really adjust it, and then just play with the other foot to be able to get it to stand up. And again, this foot's like again sitting weird, barely touching the ground fully, so it's just a really weird figure. And then the design of it, again with the plastic and stuff, her face looks really weird, and again the shininess of it, it just makes it look really odd and weird at points and stuff. And I just don't like the look of this figure overall. And I will say something with the card here in a second that you can, I guess, kind of understand why they didn't do this. But we'll take a look at Shira here. So again, she's supposed to be like the lost sister of He-Man, and so she was taken by Hordak, which we'll see in a minute, as a young kid, so she didn't, you know, really know He-Man and stuff. But they're both a part of the Masters of the Universe thing and stuff. But we got Shira here, so there's a look at her face with the blue eyes stuff. She's got the crown on with the wings design there with the red jewel on, then her long blonde hair, as you can see there. She's got a red cape on. You can see the clasps or connection there around her neck, the gold like neck thing or whatever, which connects to the cape, which usually it's a longer cape, but they made it short, and it's an actual like fabric material, a cheap fabric. Then she's got her white dress on, again the design similar to like the wings and stuff, a part of her whole She-Ra thing, with a teal color jewel there in the center and stuff of the white dress, and then of course a bunch of gold to design stuff, some gold gauntlets there, and then gold shoes or boots as well. Again, very reminds me a lot of Wonder Woman, which wouldn't be surprising at all if that's what she took inspiration from, since obviously Wonder Woman was around before She-Ra and everything. And so for accessories, she does come with the Sword of Protection, I think is what it's called. So it's again very similar to the He-Man's. It's just got this teal jewel color right there in the center of it. So we'll go ahead and try and stick that into her hand there. So she's got that sword. So again, very similar team. Instead of Sword of Power, it's the Sword of Protection as well. And then she also comes with another sword, just like He-Man's. Again, I don't know why or what it's for or anything, but she does come with that as well. So, and again, it's not one of the half ones, and she doesn't have stuff where you can stick it into her back, but she does have just a plain old regular sword. And then she also comes with a shield there. It's got, you know, still that same sort of like winged design, again, the teal jewel. And this one should probably just slip onto her hand, which she does have a really weird hand. You can see the way it's like designed and stuff. I assume it's obviously made for this to be able to hold it and everything, probably around her hand like that. So, you know, it looks like she's holding it out and stuff, but the way her hand is just curved and stuff, it looks weird, and doesn't do much or very good for movements and stuff for her. So there is all of She-Ra put together. Then we've got her card here, so there's the card, and then we've got, again, her original, at least I assume to be her original figure, which it says down here that trying to get her made into a figure like the He-Man Skeletor and stuff wasn't working, so they made it into like a Barbie doll type design. But there you can see the look of She-Ra and everything there. And that's going to be it for She-Ra. And the last figure here is of Hordak, which again was the villain from She-Ra, so from like the She-Ra show and stuff. And of course, again, situated in with the Masters of the Universe. So we got another bad guy here, and so this one definitely looks cool, and his design is, you know, based off a bat and stuff. So it's kind of what we see, like the bat on there, and then its face design and stuff. So you can see it's got the white face, kind of like Skeletor, like a white skull almost, but it's got some designs with like the ears and stuff. It's got a blue mohawk there, and it's got a red mouth and eyes, as you can see. Then it's got these like bone design around its head, kind of like a collar on a its outfit and stuff, and again bone design around the arms and everything. And then of course the bat there, or the bat red bat logo there with a face on it and stuff. And again pretty simple, basic, not too much. And again, with the body design, you can see, again, like I said, the classic 80s style stuff of the clothing and stuff like attached here. So you could, like, technically take this outfit off. You can see the clasp and stuff's there. So it's got the black on the front and the back there. Again, another similar bat type design. And then it's got this blue design on the side as well. It's got blue arms there. So again, I feel this should be related to Skeletor with their blue skin and everything. But it's got the black, like, bands there on its arm and gauntlets and stuff there. You can see on both sides. Again, trunks and stuff very similar to He-Man and Skeletor, but this time it's got a gray belt there and then the black fur trunks there, as you can see. And then going down, we've got the boots on. It's got, looks like web feet and stuff. Maybe he's got 3 toes and a spike on the back as well of the silver and black shoes there. And even for movements, I forgot to mention on Shira, but she's the same as all the others. So again, head movements can twist, arms can spin around and everything. Does have the waist twist again for the action. Again, Shira had that too. I forgot to point out on her. So again, the same sort of twist action, and then of course the legs can move and stuff. Very little, but they do move and have some movement for them. Again, it's another figure that you have to kind of adjust to get this stand up with its web feet and everything there for Hordak. For weapons, we do have a cannon on, which Hordak is a shapeshifter, and so one of the things it turns into is like a rocket ship and a cannon and stuff. So you got this that will go in its hand somehow. I don't know which hand it goes onto or anything. I'll have to try and figure this out. So I got the cannon here on this hand. Again, the hand's still kind of sticking out, so it doesn't really fit too well on it, but you can see the cannon there on its arm, so it can use, you know, cannon to fight with. And again, the whole action pose and stuff, it fits along with it in there. And then Hordak also does come with a bow, which is a really weird design. It's very cheap, like thin plasticky stuff, but I think it's still got, you know, like a bat face there. It's kind of hard to tell with the bow design, but it has this weird little clip, so you can take this and like push on this part right here, and it just like releases. So it just like barely moves forward. So I guess obviously if you had a figure here, you could push onto the button and it would like spring out like that just a little bit and hit it and like make it fall over or something. So very weird design. I don't know if this goes, I guess just clips maybe on its hand right there. Maybe like that for Hordak. It looks kind of weird and crooked, but it kind of fits in there with, you know, the little crook thing or the cutout there going into the elbow of his hand or arm and stuff there. So I assume that's just how it goes on. So it's just got a little crossbow and stuff to use as a weapon as well. And then again, we got another card here for Hordak. So there's what you see from the cartoon, and then there's also pictures again from the classic design and stuff into this current model and everything there as well. So that's going to be it for Hordak. So that's going to be it for the Super 7 Classic He-Man Masters of the Universe figures with He-Man, Skeletor, Shira, and Hordak, which again, I like the look and design and very based off of the classic 80s design. It's cool, but the actual like conception put into these figures I don't think is very good. Like again their joints and then weapons and stuff seem very cheap and weak, and I just don't like that translation that they made over to it. They should have updated it to be a little better quality from the 80s and stuff, but I guess that's just what we get for this. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more action figure videos, and we'll see you next time.